Welcome to Jobable.ie, a small step towards hiring talented employees with disabilities. The time is now. As you can see from these charts, unemployment is forecast to decrease over the next few years as employment increases in all OECD areas. As you can see from the chart on the right, with this will come labour shortages forecast to extend over the next few years. By comparison, the situation in Ireland for those people with disabilities is quite starkly different. Only about 30 to 36% of those people with disabilities are in employment, which is half or even less than half the rate of persons without disabilities. The disability gap is much larger than most OECD countries and twice the OECD average. According to the ESRI, many employers claim to have never recruited persons with disabilities, which is really quite surprising given that 15 to 20% of the working age population in Ireland is classed as having some kind of disability. From my experience of over 10 years in supported employment and disability services, my hypothesis is that employers want to do the right thing but fear doing the wrong thing and end up doing nothing at all, or to be more fair, not doing enough. The problem is perhaps that organisations such as the one I work for do not collaborate well enough together for us to be able to support employers in their aspirations. I conducted quantitative and qualitative research. I used LinkedIn and SurveyMonkey. I was very disappointed with the results. They're too limited to give any useful data. I found it difficult to get people to engage, which I think is perhaps indicative of the problem. There is a clear aspiration to be involved with recruitment for inclusion and diversity, and this chart might just indicate that the landscape is too fractured for employers to do this easily. I found the results of my qualitative research much more valuable. I spoke with HR, talent acquisition and inclusion and diversity leaders and found that there are waves or cycles of inclusion and diversity priorities in America that currently could be Black Lives Matter, in Europe transgender issues, it could be gender, it could be disabilities, and that needs to be kept at the forefront of inclusion and diversity. The companies are looking for localized services, if they can, international, like Red Cross or the Wish Foundation, but localized services that are nationwide, have a track record, and are scalable. They're seeking help to navigate what is a very fractured landscape. They recognize there's a need for training, both in terms of awareness and their own in-house practice. They complain of a pool of talent that's quite shallow, with not enough organizations from this fractured landscape actually reaching out to them. And they recognize that trust needs to be developed, and that's a trust that is more than tick box or optics. One inclusion and diversity leader actually gave me an example of a multinational company spending a lot of money on inclusion and diversity, having a disability open day and 20 people turning up. Yet on another Pride Open Day, hundreds came. Through this qualitative research from my experience in supported employment, I see the jobs that need to be done are, of course, hiring for inclusion and diversity. Beyond that, you need an environment that welcomes people. And to have that, you need to train, and you need to train for awareness raising and for a change in practice. If it's your responsibility to make this happen, then you're going to face the issue of short-term partners that come and go with funding. They're hyper-local, and they're not helping you to really reach your aspirations. Because of this short-termism, there's a danger of reputational damage or doing nothing at all. It costs you time to navigate this fragmented landscape and to try and see what's coming around the next corner in terms of inclusion and diversity waves. In partnership, and it's a transactional one, which is more familiar to a commercial company, you save time, it's more effective, you get a handle on what's coming next through expert guidance, and you can make a real difference, a social impact, and to build your community. We we will offer through Jobable.ie a gateway to recruitment. In other iterations, that might be resources and branding. We relieve the pain through a pipeline to candidates, minimizing the risk and being good as well as doing good. It saves time, it helps your reputation through accreditation, it makes a better place to work for all, not just those with disabilities. Let's take a look at the business model for this. Customer segments could be employers, government that has policy implications involved in all of this, any groups that represent job seekers facing barriers or marginalized groups, disability groups, and of course higher education and third level education where your pipeline will start. Customer relationships come with supporting job seekers, being a one-stop shop for employers and job seekers, training and talent acquisition. Channels could be organizations like Open Doors Initiative, the government, the National Disability Authority. We offer CSR, corporate social responsibility, helping the government meet their policy ambitions. No wrong door for employers, which saves them time and reputational risk. We will provide in-house training, recruitment, headhunt, bring together bodies in this fractured environment. It's very important that we get buy-in from existing services, and there are many of them, and that we collaborate rather than something in between collaboration and competition. This means working with funders, unions, employer federations, and educational institutions. Well, the cost structure, well, it's value driven. It's much more than the money. It does support the bottom line, however, and you will find that many organizations that support individuals facing barriers will do a lot of this work for you. And in the corporate world, you will have a lot of companies willing to reach their CSR aspirations through collaboration with you. Revenue streams are potentially many, from banner ads on the website or in the e-magazine to training and support grant margins where you are the contractors subcontracting out training to others. The wage subsidy scheme will allow you to contract out employees to companies, allowing you to keep €6.30 for every hour that they are employed, which you can reinvest in the work that you do. You might develop an accreditation process that people want to be part of. And all this is built on the key resources of experience and supported employment, knowledge and skills in coaching, a network of supported employment services and employers. So, my minimal viable product is Jobable.ie, the jobs board website, Ireland's first and only job site dedicated to hiring talented employees with disabilities. You can have a look yourself using the username candidate or employer and the password Jobable Demo. Its initial offer will be one of a subscription membership for employers looking to recruit. Packages are paid monthly with a discount for annual payment and increasing benefits as the subscription level rises. Potential partners can be many. Those employers on the left, even in the very localized capacity I have in Bandon and Cork, are companies we already deal with and support us. Those organizations on the right are those that should and don't on the whole. That is the problem. So our initial offer is a website, a recruitment website, and there's nothing very unique or unusual about that. The uniqueness comes from it being Ireland's first and only website dedicated to the recruitment of talented employees with disabilities. Companies can advertise for free, and they will wish to display their aspirations in this regard. With companies will come those disability organizations and services that work so poorly together right now. Once they collaborate more effectively, they will support those employers to do the right thing in the right way. Build it and they will come. As this initial offer grows in success, iterations down the line might be a digital magazine written by those disability services that are involved with employers who wish to display their success stories, or individuals talking about their journey to employment. We can have job fairs, either in person or virtual, using the latest assistive technology to make a welcoming environment for those with disabilities. Utilizing the wage subsidy scheme, we might contract candidates out to companies perhaps on a 6-monthly probation period, reinvesting the €6.30 of the scheme, and once that probation period is over, we charge a recruitment fee. We will be the conduit to diversity and inclusion training. There are many organizations that offer it, but employers find it very difficult to find one that meets their specific needs. This will be our role, and there will be a margin in this. Working with these companies and ensuring standards gives us a place for offering accreditation to companies that work with us. So that's Jobable.ie. Thank you for listening, and do log in to the website, have a look around and see what you think.